people will recognize the quality behind his name. When I see them, I see a little bit of what I saw in myself.
What you found here is actually who you are.
It's hard not to fall in love with that. Then they come here and everything slows down and you get the time to think.
He built success in the United States and then came back home to build bigger. Abraham Batista now leads operations and project management at Boardwalk Developments, bringing years of entrepreneurial grit and construction expertise to Punta Cana's next wave of growth. Welcome to the Punta Cana Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. Extremely grateful to be part of the team.
Yes. And I have to say, just from the beginning, I love what you're wearing. I love your shirt. I love your hat.
Come on.
You are representing very well. Thank you so much.
I love the uniforms. Absolutely.
So Abraham, tell us a little about you. Like, where are you from? How long have you been here?
So I'm originally from here, from Dominican Republic, specifically the capital. Las Palmas de Herrera is where I was born. But very young, we moved to the United States, like a lot of Dominicans migrate to the States, to New York City, Corona, Queens. There I lived pretty much the early part of my childhood. Yeah, and then later on, my grandfather passed away, so we moved back to the Dominican Republic for a small amount of time. Mm-hmm. And then from there, went right back to the States.
Okay.
So yeah. So after we moved back, we ended up moving to Washington, D.C., where I have family, and that's where I started pretty much my construction career. Absolutely.
But you didn't actually start out in construction.
So I've always been passionate about cars, the automotive world. So I thought it was a great idea coming out of high school to get into automotive technology. But unfortunately, I realized rather quickly that I was passionate about driving cars, not so much working on them.
Okay.
So that quickly transitioned me into testing out what construction was like. So I started in the trades, from framing, carpentry, concrete work, a little bit of pretty much everything. Mm-hmm. So ended up realizing that it was something that I actually was passionate about, that I was actually good at. So pretty much it became, from then on, it was just something where I just started to experiment with different trades. Ended up learning a whole lot, especially done some land surveying. Pretty much every aspect of construction, I have somewhat either been fully on it or tested it out or been part of a company where I had gained some experience on that. But definitely construction has been surprisingly something that's been really satisfying to me.
Yes.
Throughout my life as a career.
Yes, and we see that in working with you, that you have such a heart and such a passion for what you do. Going into the projects, the developments, the structures, what you see, what you feel, you are fully and wholly involved in that. And that is one of the things that I noticed about you when I first met you. You came with about 20 years of experience in the construction industry in the States, and you don't see a challenge anywhere. There are challenges, but your attitude is like, we're going to fix it, we're going to figure it out. And a little bit of everything, the plumbing, the electric, the construction, the this, the that. Really incredible.
Life as a whole is full of challenges. Mm-hmm. And construction, absolutely, you're gonna have plenty of them. But I think that just like in life, you have to be solution driven. You got to be looking always for the way around it, because obviously, you can get quickly frustrated with things that happen on the day to day with construction. But yeah, it's something that, like I said, I never thought about as a young man, going into construction. It was not something that I was really interested in. Mm-hmm. But then again, there's a lot of things in life that you just never know about yourself until you find yourself doing those things. And my dad, a lot of men in my family, were really good at doing things with their hands. Electricians, plumbers, there's a lot of people in the trades within my family. Mm-hmm. But curious enough, I was never inclined to be like, but would construction be a good fit for me? I never did until I actually started and got into it. And now, 20 years down the road, here we are.
Yes. Yeah, so talk a little bit about what you're actually doing here.
So right now, head of operations and managing what is Maple Suites, which is an amazing project just a block away from some of the most amazing waters you'll ever see in your life. It's an amazing 58-unit project with a veterans clinic right in the heart of it. So it's one of the most interesting projects I could honestly say, not because I'm part of the team, but I could honestly say it's definitely a project that has a lot of purpose within this project, especially we're helping veterans coming from the States is something that I think is brings a lot of fulfillment to know that we're doing something that's creating a safe space for veterans that need that clarity, that calm, and a place where they can connect with other people and feel safe. So a project like that can bring that environment, that bring it all together for them is very rewarding. But then again, we are also in Paradise. We're also in DR.
Yeah.
So I mean, that side of it makes it really exciting for me. I have never done anything in my home country. So to be here has been a blessing, and to be involved in this project, definitely exciting. Definitely exciting.
And we're definitely excited to have you. It's interesting because we've had just as many conversations about you running into the veterans and working with them and helping them as with the construction. So I love that you have that service mindset, that you help people, that you stop and give them the time of day because you can, and I'm happy that you do. I mean, your English is great, which is super helpful. Spanish is great. Even working with my husband, who's a Dominican, a typical traditional Dominican, and he loves you. I mean, you guys get along so great. And then we work together, and I'm an American woman, businesswoman from the States. So I definitely feel really excited that not only are you bringing your professional skills, but also your interpersonal skills, bridging cultures, countries, and just really bringing it all together and adding value here for the project. So you're here, you're working, you're doing your thing. Tell us a little bit about your family. You're not here by yourself.
So I have 3 kids, 3 amazing kids, 2 teenagers. They're going through what teenagers go through, a lot of change. Yeah, a lot of changes, a lot of emotions, but it's still a blessing to see them grow. I see a lot of myself in my middle child. I also have a little girl, and she's obviously the queen. So my wife also, that's been a huge part of my support system doing this transition, coming back to DR. She's been an amazing partner. And just after being in the United States for so long, we decided late 2023 that we wanted to come home and see what was going on here. I had not been back in the country for almost 20 years. And funny enough, I had never pictured myself coming back and living back home. So when we made the decision, it was a very interesting time in my life. I thought a lot of things in my life were going the right way, but something was not quite right in my heart and in my mind. And I found it here. When I came here and I got to reconnect with my family, got to reconnect with my culture, and it was something that I had no clue I was missing. So it came at the right time. And then through that experience, conversations of making that change and maybe bringing our kids here started to come up. And then, we started to do the math, and it started to make a lot of sense. And funny enough, part of it was doing a whole lot of research.
Okay.
And you happen to be one of the people that made that a lot easier.
Oh, really?
For us. Absolutely. Absolutely. You being the face on Punta Cana and coming here, when we came, it's hard not to see your face everywhere. You're so part of this town. And then when we started doing research, finding out you had the podcast, and I went through episode after episode and kind of just getting all the information I could possibly get of what it was like for an American moving into this part of the country, seeing what opportunities were here. I mean, I mean, it's a little bit surreal to be sitting here.
And here you
Because
are.
at one point I was that person on the other side of the screen, just like, oh man, this is really awesome. And so yeah, it took us about a year to plan it out. And once we did, it was still scary. I'm not gonna tell anybody that it's not scary to pretty much leave everything you known for such a long time.
Yes.
And start sort of over again. But it's been a blessing. It's definitely been a blessing. I could pretty much tell anybody, sometimes what you need to do is go somewhere else and kind of see what's missing. You have to kind of take yourself out of the environment you're in to kind of realize what's really missing within your life and in your family circle. And I have found it here back home, luckily.
And what is it actually that you feel that you actually found?
Well, in the United States, I have family. I had a good professional life, but I feel like it gets to a point where there's a disconnect that we all as humans really need, not only with family, but with people. And sometimes the day-to-day takes over and does not allow you to really connect the way we're meant to connect with people. We are social beings. We're supposed to connect with each other at some level. So I think that's what happened. And the minute I got here, I mean, our culture, they just don't let you just sit in a corner and kind of, we're not allowed to stick to ourselves. Here, people just bring you in. Some way, somehow, they pulled you in. And it's hard not to fall in love with that. And what I noticed with a lot of veterans coming here and a lot of people that come here, they come here because of the beach and the weather and all of these things, but they're never expecting the amount of energy and love that you feel from the community and how quickly you can feel at home here.
Yes.
So that was a big part of it.
You're really sitting on the other side now. The communication and the warmth that you give to the clients, to the patients, to the investors, even going up to Meeches that wasn't really the original intention. And then all of a sudden, we get more sales than we normally do. It's like, what was that connection you made with the people? So you speaking about what you found here is actually who you are.
Yeah. Funny enough, that's one of the first things I told my wife when we came back, from being here almost a month in 2023. When we went back, I said, you know what? For the first time in a long time, I think I really, truly felt like myself back home. And she also recognized and said, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I saw a part of you that I had never met before. And we've known each other since we were 17 years old.
Right.
So, I was like, you know what? That is so true. So it's crazy to say that because I had been in the States for so long that I had absolutely no desire to come back to the Dominican Republic. And it took me coming back to realize that there was a huge part of me that was left here.
Yes.
As a child. So coming back and reconnecting has definitely been amazing for my mental health, for my family, my kids love it here. At first it was kind of tough, especially with teenagers. They're like, oh, Dad,
teenagers.
Come on, how are we going to? But at the end of the day, it's been an amazing experience for the family. The kids are starting to realize and appreciate the culture due to the fact that it's very different back home. But when you're saying when it comes to the people and the folks that I'm connecting with that are coming in on the veterans program, or I'll meet them at the hotel or at the properties or the project, so what happens is when I see them, I see a little bit of what I saw in myself. That you could see in their face that they're looking for a place or a thing that's missing there. They coming from the hustle and bustle of whatever they got going on back in the States, and then they come here and everything slows down and you get the time to think. You kind of get that time where you realize, okay, maybe that's what was going on with me. I was so busy back in the States where I couldn't take a pause to realize what was wrong, what I was missing in my life, that was making me feel a certain way, and didn't let me just feel all right with everything. Because like I'm telling you, in 2023, I felt like everything outside of me was in the right place, but inside of me there was something that was just not right. So once I came here, that's when I realized, I'm like, okay, so this is
Now
what
we're getting it right.
absolutely, absolutely. And that just pushes me to want to help people, to want to talk to people about the same situation, because maybe
you can
that's what they're
relate.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can relate.
So that's where I'm connecting with a lot of these veterans.
Beautiful.
They're looking for that, and being able to talk to them and say, hey, there is other places in the world where you can find your own space and something that's more cohesive to what you want to do in life.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
You keep on running around. You keep on running around. I've had enough of these games. These games. 100 grams.
So, Abraham, how are you doing with all of the differences that you're experiencing between how things are done in the States and here in the DR?
So I could say when it comes to the culture has a big influence on how things are done here. And not only in construction, just overall. The culture, the island time situation definitely touches on many aspects of living here. It could be frustrating at times for us because we come from a lot faster pace.
Yeah.
So it's definitely been an adjustment for me. Not quite as hard as I would picture it for somebody else, because I am part of this culture. I do understand it. But then again, where I'm coming from is a lot different. So it's been more of a situation where I'm trying to blend in our culture from back in the States with what we have here. So it's a lot of compromising, a lot of delegating and negotiating with people so that we can bring that type of culture that we have over there and mix it in with what we have here. It's been definitely a tough transition at times. But I think as a team, what we are building here is we're creating that type of bubble where we can continue to train people, to put things in place that we can continue to push the boundaries of what they're used to doing here.
Yes.
And I think Punta Cana, as it stands right now, is in need of that push, is in need of that change, because a lot of the population here is folks that are not from here.
Yes.
So therefore, the quality that they're demanding is a standard back home.
Yes.
So whether the culture likes it or not, it's going to have to change here. So I think here at Boardwalk, we are doing what we need to do to bring the quality and the standards that people are accustomed to.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, I think that's what it's going to take to sustain the market in this area. So I'm doing everything I have to do, especially with everybody that I'm meeting, all the vendors and subcontractors, to trying to communicate to them that to survive in the environment we're in right now, so they can move on to the next level and see themselves grow with us in the next 10 years, we need to bring better quality, better customer service, and be more efficient at what we do.
Yes.
So it's definitely something that we cannot compromise on. We need to make this happen.
Yeah, and I really love that about you, your long-term vision. Sometimes that's hard to find here because the culture has been in this area. People come, people go, people come, people go. But you don't always see that mentality about, okay, let's think about something now and 10 years into the future. And I love that because having been here 20 years, I see a long future. There will be 20 more or 30. But some have a very in and out mentality, quick, hit it, boom, boom, boom. And that's not always the best way to go, especially not in construction. So I love that thought process of let's meet with the vendors, let's have relationships with them, let's set the expectations for now and in the future and walk it all the way through.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's something that unfortunately culturally is detrimental to a lot of what construction is, especially in the capital. But here in Punta Cana, being that we have so many folks that are coming from outside of the country is just something that needs to happen.
You have to do it.
We have to.
We have to do it. Yeah.
And you know, unfortunately, that's why a lot of industries and companies that come into the country that are successful have to come from outside because they have to bring that culture in. And even though it is awesome that our culture prioritizes in connection and people, there's certain industries that really depend on consistency and professionalism and people that, you know, train folks that can really bring in the standards and the quality that people need so that we can really bring a product that can sustain itself out here long term.
Yes.
So,
and you really are bridging that gap, you know, as the leader of the operations and project management, making sure that we're meeting a certain standard. Talking about training, I love that you came, you were like, we're gonna train the people. We're gonna really train them. You don't hear about that a lot of times. And sometimes the labor is day labor, they're in and out. But you know, you will attract those that will continue coming back and raise the level and the standard of work just through that consistency and through the caring and the communication that you're doing with the people you really care about them. Then guess what happens? Then they care about you. They want to do a better job. They want to do a more quality job. It's just not just for the day, and it doesn't matter what happens tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, here at Boardwalk, we are really focusing on building a team where we can bring that consistency. And just by doing that alone, it makes us stand out in this market. So at the end of the day, what I try to communicate to the subcontractors and a lot of the vendors is this should be the main focus of your business, the quality of what you're bringing. Once you push the quality, once you laser focus on that, the sales are going to come. People are going to recognize.
Yes.
I mean, see people who are, you know, not doing it the right way. If you really, really focus on just delivering what people need in the right time, you're going to stand out immediately.
Yes.
So selling them that idea, making sure that they recognize that that's what they need to do in this specific area of the country is key for businesses to survive. And when you let them know that at the end of the day, you want to be a partner and you want to see them long term grow with you, they like that idea. So I think that, you know, that's another big part, building relationships. I know it's a thing that networking is really important, but here more than ever, especially with everything that's going on. And once you find the right people, you really, really, really have to make sure you protect those connections and continue to build relationships with the people that are doing it the right way. Because unfortunately, there is a lot of folks they come into the market, they try, but they're not doing it for the right reasons.
Right.
So at the end of the day, we want to make that difference. We want to be a team of folks that whenever people hear Boardwalk Developments, they know that if you're getting anything, any product, any condos, any villas from these folks, you're getting a product that's backed by people that are really, really caring about the name and the quality behind what they're selling. Because there is a ton of projects out there, absolutely. But we need to be the difference.
Yes.
That's what we're doing.
Well, we are the difference.
Absolutely.
Thanks to you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Not everything in Punta Cana is about palm trees and paradise. Sometimes it's about a little girl walking barefoot to school with the biggest smile you've ever seen. It's about a rescued puppy wagging its tail for the first time. A U.S. veteran finally getting the care he deserves. And a group of volunteers planting trees to keep this island green for the next generation. This is what we do at Punta Cana Community Care Nonprofit Foundation. We help the children, we protect the environment, we support our U.S. veterans, and we care for animals because every one of them matters. We're a small foundation with a big heart, doing real work in the communities most visitors never see. But we can't do it alone. If you have a little extra money or just a big heart, we could use your help. Every dollar makes a difference. Punta Cana Community Care, because caring is contagious.
So Abraham, tell us about some of the projects that you're actually working on for Boardwalk Developments. What's available out there?
So right now we're working on Maple Suites. Maple Suites is a 58 unit apartment building that we are building right now in the heart of Cortecito. We also have Villa 76 in Cocotal, which is a luxury, fabulous luxury villa in the middle of Cocotal, which is one of the oldest luxury golf communities in Punta Cana. We also have the beach club for Maple Suites, located right here in Cortecito too. We're working on that project. And we also have apartment buildings coming up for Palm Coast. And then we have my favorite project that I'm personally
Save
sit
the
on.
best for last?
Absolutely, which is Legacy Miches. And I mean, what an amazing, amazing place, especially if you're looking to get away from the hustle and bustle of the city and just connect with nature. Legacy Miches is definitely one of those projects where I tell folks, I can only tell you so much about it. Going there and actually seeing it for yourself is what really, really makes it click and you understand what I'm talking about when I mean disconnecting and kind of getting in touch with nature.
And so right now we're in the pre-construction and selling lots for building. The Palm Coast is future new construction. Maple Suites almost done. And then the villa is for rental. So
Correct.
we're not selling that right now.
So those of
We're
you
not selling the
who are
villa.
looking to get away for a couple of days, come to the Dominican Republic, stay at a luxury community with golf and different amenities right down the road from the beach. Cocotal Villa 76 is definitely an experience. We've gotten a lot of great reviews, and I mean, it's just an amazing space to create it, absolutely.
We recently did a charity event there too, where your wife and your children were volunteers as a part of the activity, selling art that was created by the children of the orphanage, and we actually accomplished our goal for what we wanted to accomplish with that event. So also really enjoying to use the opportunity for that villa to be of service.
It's an
as well.
excellent property to host events of any kind that you can think of.
Yeah.
I mean, the space just amazing. It's just an amazing place to.
Love it. So Abraham, for all the people out there watching, you have your teenagers, you were living in the States, you moved here, you've transitioned from being a professional in the United States to working that profession here in the DR. What would you say to folks who are looking to possibly make that transition? Like, what advice would you give? How would you help them to be better prepared for making a move or considering a move here?
Well, the first thing I would say is any transition, it really doesn't matter where, is going to be, there's going to be fear behind it. It could be from one state to the other, one city to the other.
Yes.
It really does not matter. So transitions as a whole tend to be really difficult. Now, one of the things that I have spoken to other expats and have communicated is the fact that any place where you are planning to move, if you're capable of doing so, if you have the means to do so, go and stay there for a week or two and do the things that you will normally do on your day-to-day where you already live. So coming here for a month and going grocery shopping, going out to the park with the kids, going to a medical appointment, to the eye doctor, doing things that you will normally do where you're from is a big part of kind of being able to get an idea if this is the right fit for you.
Okay.
Getting to know the locals, getting to know people, because sometimes people come and they're not really putting themselves in places where they can really take in the culture and really get to experience. And in Punta Cana, that could also get quite difficult because of the fact that it's so diverse. It's not a place that is fully 100% Dominican or fully 100% expats. It's just a mix. But Punta Cana, I would just really suggest for people to come and have the experience. Unfortunately, living in the States, the type of information that we get from places outside of the States is not necessarily the truth when it comes to what the reality is. And unfortunately, a single person can have a really terrible experience, and that can be amplified in social media or the news. And therefore, you get this idea like, oh my God. For example, I have met veterans who get here for the first time, and they get really anxious. And I understand, there could be trauma behind that, and they're fearful. And I had this gentleman, and he got here, and he was just really anxious, and he was just like, oh my God, I just feel all this anxious energy. I just need to figure out where could I go shop, where could I do this. And I had to kind of take a few minutes and have a conversation with him, and tell him, listen, you're fine, you're okay. I kind of told him pretty much my story and how long I've been here. And unfortunately, like I said, we a lot of the people that come here come with assumptions based on what they heard,
Yes.
or what they read on the newspaper, or whatever the case might be. And once they get here, they realize it's a completely different story. So I would tell people, please come and experience the places that you have intentions of moving to,
Yes.
or you have intentions of having a second home. Come and experience it. See if you can make enough time, not only as a vacation, but to come here and put yourself in a situation to where you can experience what it's like living here. Talk to the people who are already here, and get an idea from them based on also on their experiences.
Yes.
Because on the media, like I said, you hear about
Fake news.
Yeah, you hear
Fake
about all
news.
these different places in the world, and it's always dangerous. And at the end of the day, danger is everywhere.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
So
I
at
think
the end
that's
of the
good
day-
advice.
Yeah.
Really good advice.
That's sometimes how people feel trapped, because they get accustomed to the places where they're at, and they feel like there's no safer place than where they live. And at the end of the day, you just have to get out there and actually have the experience, get to put yourself in situations where you get to experience the country, the people, the environments. And to be quite honest with you, I felt a lot safer back home than I ever did at most of my life in the States. Here, my children are experiencing life
Yes.
in a way where I was not able to allow them to back in the States due to
Yes.
fear.
Due to fear. And I would actually challenge or question if folks really feel safe at home as much, or maybe it's just what they know, what they're familiar with. They know what to be concerned with or about. Maybe when they come here, it's just unknown. But what's unknown is that it is safe at the end of the day.
It's a situation where people just go based on a lot of the information and things they heard about the island in the past. And for me as a Dominican, it's been tough because I know what the reality is.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, the truth behind all of this is that there is places where you shouldn't go everywhere in the world.
So if you know that, you're good.
Correct. So, taking those experiences and generalizing and saying that, the country is that way, the entire country is that way, is just really
It's not the case.
not the case at all.
That's not the case. So
Please come here and experience Dominican Republic, and then you can go ahead
just
and
speak for
voice your
yourself.
opinion.
And
Yeah.
you know what? I'm so confident about that because so many have come here and opened their eyes and opened their hearts and opened their minds and have changed their life. So I would second that.
Absolutely. For example, I met a lady in a veterans program who came here for a week by herself, single mom, and said, I have to stay here another week. I can't leave. And I'm like, oh, okay. And now she lives here by herself.
There you go.
So, all of these things, like I said, people hear stories. I get it. I think we all do that out of protecting ourselves.
Yes.
We kind of take in the bad of what we hear, and we're cautious, I guess.
But our brains are wired to protect us.
Correct.
And the way it protects us is by creating fear. So
Absolutely.
we have to overcome that in a way.
What if your next investment placed you in the heart of nature? where mountains, waterfalls, and opportunity came together. Welcome to Legacy Beaches, a premier development in the Dominican Republic. Set against breathtaking mountains, waterfalls, just minutes from the beach, this high-growth area is attracting major investors. Secure premium land lots now with significant appreciation potential in just 30 months. Own a piece of this paradise. Invest in Legacy Beaches today. Click the link in the description to learn more.
Abraham, as a part of the podcast, we always take a question from one of our subscribers. So take one question and I will ask.
Okay, here you go.
Woo, are you ready for this?
Let's go.
Okay, years from now, when people look back at this era of growth, what decisions made today will define whether we built paradise or just sold one?
Okay. I think the decision to, at all costs, maintain the quality of what we're doing.
Yeah.
To make sure that if we're putting this name behind every project, that we could probably be out in the town 10, 20 years from now and know that this name can be out and people will recognize the quality behind this name.
Yep. I'm planning on that.
As long as we can do that.
Let's do that.
Because just like you, just like your face is all over Punta Cana, I want to be able to do the same thing.
Yes.
I want to be able to tell our clients, I want to be able to bump into them at the supermarket and say, hey, how's it going? I love my home. I love what you guys built for us.
Thank you.
And at the end of the day, I want to carry that pride with me because that's personally that's fulfilling for me.
Yes.
Outside of what we're doing, but definitely be able to be proud of what we're building today.
We're going there.
Now. Absolutely.
We're going there. So, Abraham, how do folks get in touch with you or Boardwalk Developments with any questions?
You guys can reach me at my Instagram, email, through Boardwalk Developments, in our offices here in Cortecito. I'm always around, so
Yep.
you guys can reach out to me, and you'll find me. If you're in Cortecito long enough, you'll find me.
Running back and
around.
forth.
Absolutely.
Beach Club, Maple Beach.
Oh, and at Cocotal at times you will find me too. So you just never know. At some point you'll bump into me for sure.
Beautiful. Abraham, thank you so much for being
Appreciate
a part
you.
of this episode of the Punta Cana Podcast. I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, I'm so happy to have you here, so happy to have met you. And I just thank you for being you and what you've done and sharing your story with our subscribers. And thank you for being a part of this episode of the Punta Cana Podcast. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Leave a comment, a like, and we'll see you on the next one.